From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. This was the day Congress got to ask the health secretary some questions about how it is the rollout of the new health care website went so wrong. And in response today, she said, in effect, the buck stops with her, but that may not be enough for everybody. With each new day, we learn of new frustrations with the system, and Americans are learning what it really means for them. We're going to begin here tonight with two reports, including the reporting of our national investigative correspondent Michael Isikoff on concerns over the website's security. First, NBC's Kelly O'Donnell, who covered all of it today on the Hill. Kelly, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. This was a day of aggressive questioning. The president's top official for the rollout of the health care law vowed to get it right and said in just another 30 days, the persistent problems we've seen will be fixed. So Secretary Sebelius says no need for an extension. There'll be plenty of time for people to sign up for coverage.
Here we go.
A crisis on her watch. Would you consider giving people more time to enroll? Some Democrats are asking for that. As the cabinet secretary in charge of the problem-prone healthcare.gov website, Kathleen Sebelius drew a crush of media attention. And even a long line for spectators who came to hear the secretary explain what has gone wrong.
You deserve better. I apologize. I'm accountable to you for fixing these problems. And I'm committed to earning your confidence back by fixing the site.
Hammered by questions, Sebelius repeatedly took the blame for a rollout she even labeled a debacle.
Hold me accountable for the debacle. Okay. I'm responsible.
Sebelius admitted her department failed to do enough testing to catch and fix flaws in the enrollment website before the October 1st launch.
Do you believe that 2 weeks was enough time to complete testing of the entire system?
Clearly not.
Beyond website issues, frustration and confusion over a promise often made by the president.
The president kept saying, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. So is he keeping his promise?
Yes, he is.
Lawmakers from both parties complained that constituents without employer-provided insurance say their policies are being canceled or premium prices hiked, in part because the health care law requires more services like preventive care be covered.
They don't offer the minimum essential benefits. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Sebelius responded that only affects a small number of Americans who can now look for a better deal.
Consumers have a right to shop anywhere to compare plans, and they have choices now that they've never had before.
After almost 4 hours on the hot seat, Republicans say they still have many questions.
She has provided some clarity, not enough detail.
Secretary Sebelius told lawmakers she will come back in December with a progress report. Kelly O'Donnell, NBC News, the Capitol.
Rise.
This is Michael Isikoff. Some of the toughest questions today were about security protections on healthcare.gov.
Don't you think you had the obligation to tell the American people that we're going to put you in this system, but you beware, your information is likely to be vulnerable? Would you commit today, Secretary, to shut down the system and give an end-to-end security test so that these Americans can have their information?
No, sir. If you read the memo, it goes
I have read it.
That internal government memo, just 3 days before the October 1 launch date, warned that testing of the site was not finished, exposing a level of uncertainty that can be deemed as a high risk. Sebelius said that HHS officials were taking steps to tighten security.
It is underway right now, but daily and weekly monitoring and testing is underway.
I was very alarmed.
Privacy protections were the subject of heated internal debate within the administration before the site launched, according to Michael Astrew. He was chief of the Social Security Administration under both Presidents Bush and Obama until last February, and tells NBC News he protested that officials were carving out exemptions from the Privacy Act, a law that requires that personal information be kept confidential.
I was extremely upset. There would be real-world consequences for Americans. I did not discuss this specifically with Secretary Sebelius.
Her top aides.
Absolutely.
And their reaction was?
You know, it was a shrug. We're going to hit October 1. I mean, that was the mantra.
The exemptions, which do appear on the privacy policy of healthcare.gov, allow personal data such as Social Security numbers and financial information to be shared with local governments, private contractors, employers, family members, even the Department of Homeland Security. Administration officials say sharing data is essential to determine if people qualify for health insurance subsidies. But privacy advocates are concerned that so much personal information is being shared among so many.
There's a hidden army of government and industry and corporations that are going to also be accessing and using our data. And that is scary. We don't know who they are. We need to, at a minimum, be able to have real-time lists of who's looking at our information.
Brian, we asked HHS for comment tonight, and they told us consumers can trust that the information they're providing is protected by stringent security standards.
Our national investigative correspondent, Michael Isikoff, Kelly O'Donnell, before that, starting us off tonight. Mike, thanks.